It's alright, Elle. Don't get too discouraged. I know that you just finally got the rest of the Yukirs to start practicing the foraging and hunting groups that you wanted to send out, making sure that there was always at least 3 creatures together so we didn't lose anyone to the frozen wastelands of the snowy blizzard. But, the snow has just let up, and so we no longer need to worry about clinging to one another and not freezing to death. Poor little Elle, he had just managed to convince the rest of the Yukirs that they should only hunt in groups, and now with the snow going away, the natural tendency of the Yukirs to start spreading out and exploring on their own in the independent way that our armored-bodied creatures do is gonna start asserting itself. So hello everyone, and welcome back to the Yukir tribe. We are picking up right where we left off last time, with the tribe clinging to what little amount of food that they were able to find by pecking around the waters. And they have been pecking away at a whole bunch of the clams. They found a yummy crabbit that they were able to take out together, and they have been working very hard to stay in groups so they don't freeze to death, and they could work on the various berry bushes. And now that the snows have stopped, the Yukirs are probably going to start spreading out again. They don't really focus very much on breeding when it is sunny because they're hungry. They're kind of like big bison that want to wander across, gather up the grass, munch on all of the berries, possibly eat a stray rabbit that wanders by, or even a stray berina that wanders by, because with Armor Body we don't really care when a berina shows up. We can still tackle them, and we're gonna have to see what their adventures are going to get up to now that the snow has gone away. Poor little elf. I really feel like Elfrida, who is our main male and possibly going to be one of our most important breeders of that mammoth foot gene, if his father doesn't have any more successful sons, is a little put out because he was really starting to take a leadership position, and now he doesn't really need to worry about that. So that being said, let's go ahead and get moving. How's little Brothix? Oh, he's frozen. Alright, I think that would be too much for Tataku to take. He would come down and unfreeze him. And little Brothix is actually our only doubled up immunity sickly creature that we've had. And even though it was at least for the last couple of rounds of generations, and even though it was very, very difficult, the Yukirs ended up leaving little Brothix alone in his nest, even though there was snow and a blizzard coming down, and having to wait and see if he would be able to survive on his own long enough to be able to be sent up to the healing hot springs where he can perch in there and no Nishling creatures can go near him because they will get his deadly illness. But it was just so hard because this tribe, especially the mammoth-footed creatures, are really dedicated to gathering around and keeping the babies warm. So having to leave a baby to be exposed to the snow like that and possibly freezing to death was very hard. So I think everybody is very relieved and celebrating that Brothix has survived the snows and he can now come over. They have offered him this rare healing fruit that only grows every now and then, and they can send him on his way up to enjoy the hot springs. So Brothix is on his way up there. He is a purebred niche creature. As a result, he ended up with his doubled up immunity, unfortunately, but he does have all of the classic Yukir tribe genes that we need. The mega horn, the cracker jaw, the armored body. He's even got doubled up runner's legs so he can still collect things. He's got normal eyesight. He doesn't have hemophilia. We haven't had to worry about that for so many generations now. And he's got hammer tail, so we don't want to waste his genes just because he has doubled up D immunity. That's actually very useful for lovely females like Shrovi here, who could use a mate who happens to have D immunity to have healthy children with, but he can't stay near the tribe. And I think that that is actually something that Tataku, much to the Yukir's shock, had from his tribe, that he really is pulling on from the tribe that he was part of before he was frozen in the ice block. That if there were sick babies born in the nest, because his tribe was even more all about staying in big groups all the time together than this tribe ever has been, then you leave the baby to the snows and you let the snows reclaim them. And that was very hard for all of the Yukirs because they've often taken care of their sickly children. But it may be a new, very tough thing that is just going to be passed into the tribe from Tataku's old tribe. And he would say that it was his tribe's way of figuring out if the snow god Yuki would decide if that creature could survive long enough to be sent to the healing hot springs, but they had to live and survive as babies by themselves rather than in the warm mammut food arms of the rest of the nichelings. So not fair at all, but understandable to try to keep the tribes alive. So that little addition to our new culture aside, let's see what Crovy is going to get up to. I think she is feeling kind of like wandering around a little bit. She's a bit chilly, but she should be okay enough to wiggle over to one of the hot springs. Now that we have the big storm over, a lot of the nichelings are going to get a little bit more eager to wander around. I think Lului here is pretty happy that she has figured out how to eat clams. I think Camise, who is a pure-blooded nicheling in need of another mate. Can she mate with Crovy? Nope. Camise, who could you mate with? Camise could actually be a good mate for Tataku, so we might start sending her back over towards that side of the family. We'll go ahead and let her eat some of this fruit on her way there. Crovy is amazing, or Crove, excuse me, is amazing for his genes because he also has high fertility and H and D immunity. So he needs to find, like, I think Moon would be really interested in that, even though we would risk immunity D. And he needs to find another female. Let's see. Not his sister Crovy. Where is a good, would it be Akia? Not Akia. Dang it, Crove has like the best genes, but unfortunately he might get some of the other females, like they might have sickly children. Darn. So I think he would just start wandering around, maybe following his sister Kurovi. Maybe following her, E and H immunity, D and H. Dang it, he's got like these beautiful genes and nobody to pass them on to. So we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on that. All right, well, I think he would start wandering over where his sister has gone off to. Now that the snows have stopped and everybody is sort of getting eager to poke around and find new food sources. Also, can he do dig? No, he can't do any digging. Darn it. All right, well, he could destroy this berry bush. Push come to shove, I will destroy berry bushes to keep my tribe alive. And then Janu has actually been quite amusing to me. He is not a purebred nicheling, so he's not really one. I'll probably give him a little orange dot. Not really one that we would think about breeding. So I might let him start wandering over here, but it turns out he's not afraid of leeches. So he had no problem diving into the water and getting covered in leeches and letting the other nichelings survive by eating the leeches off of him. Kind of weird. He's a quirky guy, but hey, he kept the tribe alive, so can't really bash him. All right, and Sasuke is going to jump up here and gather up some of these nuts. And I think Xenophilius is ready to have another one of her children. And if she had, okay, actually, Tataku is probably going to start having a lot of kids. So if he starts having a lot of kids, what do we want to make sure is passed on that he doesn't have? And I think that's normal eyesight and cracker jaw, for sure. So we're going to leave cracker jaw in here. And we're going to leave normal eyesight in here so that hopefully any of his children will be born with those traits. And Xenophilia, should you have a child right now? We're getting kind of low on resources. I don't know. I wonder if Xenophilius feels like moving nest. I don't know. She kind of likes her spot, but I feel like it's just natural for the Yukirs to really get very, very deeply the urge to wander once they hit a certain age. So we'll have Akia come down here and she can start wandering around. She's kind of hungry, so we'll let her follow her nose. And I think Akia might wander out towards this direction. So maybe it would be a good idea to send Krov over there as well. All right, so start wandering, my precious Yukirs. And we'll go ahead and let Xenophilius have another child. So she'll settle over there. Tataku can come down and spend time with her soon. And I guess Elfrida would start wandering around too. But I feel like Moon might fall for Krove. So I wonder if Moon... Well, Krove is going to work his way over here too. So we'll let Tasco join us as well. And I think that our little mammut food creatures will kind of start wandering around. I think Tasco might actually start wandering up this direction to clear away the snow over here. He kind of like stepping... No, Tasco, your name is not D. There we go. to let him start wandering around the snow. And I feel like Moon might come over and be enchanted by Akia. Akia is just a very interesting creature to her, and it's one of the first children she'll ever get to see, like, be born, so she might start clearing the way for Akia. And I think Elfrida is actually very, like, protective of his sister, so he would start following her as well. So hopefully we'll find enough food sources over there. Speaking of food sources, we actually have a pretty nice little setup over here, with Steel being able to gather up some food. Shira can come back over to her traditional spot, gathering up a ton of these nuts. We can kick this tree and gather up even more nuts. Unfortunately, I didn't get Riolana out of the nest. Look at her child. Does her child even have arms? What the heck? Why doesn't Rary have arms over here? That's so weird. Alright, we need to give Rary a new name too, I forgot. Alright, I'm going to pull up the amazing list of names that you fantastic people have provided and pick randomly from it. And we actually have the name, oh, that one says name a Berina, this please, so I will pass that one up. We actually have the name Corey, which is a name that also comes up in the game itself, but I like it, so we'll name her Corey. And then we have Steel's only little brother who has ever been born. So Steel, his father had one last child with the lovely Misko, and little Misiko is a little bit timid. She has a fishing tail. She has some tales about her family being a type that lives around waterfalls, and they would often slide down waterfalls, and she grew up surrounded by fish, and so she's never really been so aware that she doesn't really have very good paws for being able to pick berries or crack open nuts or do any of the other things the Yukirs can. She's from a tribe where she spent most of her childhood just being able to splash around in the waters and use her tail to tempt fish out from under their rocks. So this has been very hard for her to get lost from the snowstorm, chased by those terrible rogues, saved at the last moment by a moose-horned creature, and then fall in love with an elder who died the next day before he even got to see his son, like, be born. And now she's here with that elder son Steel, and they're probably going to have a bit of a romance, and we're going to see whether or not we can finally get that line up and going with our Yukirs to have at least one of them good at being in the water and collecting up the animals from the water. But let's name this little baby boy. I'm going to go through, this is a huge list of names. I absolutely love it. I keep forgetting to share it with you guys. I need to try to remember to do that later. All right, and we're going to go with Duvai. So that's pretty good because his name already had a few of those letters in it. So little Duvai, and interestingly enough, he and Corey could be mates. And they are spiky bodied, but they also both have armored body or recessive. So that may be an odd branch of the family tree, a la Riri the squirrel, who we don't plan on breeding, but then when we end up breeding them, end up saving the whole tribe. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's see. And I think I'll let little Misko, she might want to try to show them that she can also do things. So she might come over and maybe think about doing a little bit of hunting with the fish and trying to show them that she can be a good fisher. So that might be something she'll look into. And Nota, ooh, Nota, can you get that bunny? Dang it, the bunny has outsmarted us. Swimming bunnies are unfair. All right, so let's see. We'll try out. I really like Mesico. I really like her a lot. She's just very cute. I love her spots and I love her story. So we'll see where she goes. New baby born. Oh, and poor little Mesico, on the bones of her fallen mate, has just found a predator whilst she was trying to show off to Steel that she is strong and she's capable of being able to do fishing. Just watch, and she almost like dives into the mouth of a waiting predator. Not exactly what we had in mind. I am so sorry, little one. We'll protect you. Yeah, we're not gonna have any of that. Janu's gonna come on up here, and he's got the armored body, so this isn't alarming for the rest of the tribe. Nota also has armored body. And then I think that Steel would jump down and he would, like, we'll let Masiko deliver a couple blows, and he would shove Masiko behind him to try to protect her. And let's see, Shira. No, Shira! The Corey's Corey's mom just died, Shira. That's so sad. Shira's gonna stay over here and protect the babies and stay with Misko and try to protect them. But both of these babies have prickle body, so that would really suck if a carnivore got his teeth around him. I don't think he would find what he expected to. But they don't have armored body, and I think that kind of stresses out the Yukirs who do have armored body, because they are like, wait a second, you might actually get chewed on. But at the same time, I don't know if they realize that the carnivores are very dangerous. It's been a long time since any of them have ever been hurt by a carnivore, now that I think about it. So we'll have to see. All right, Luli is super excited about all of these clams, and she's getting a little cold. It is still a little bit chillier than I was giving it credit for. The temperature is beginning to warm up, and a warm breeze is blowing through, but still. And let's see, Crovy, we'll maybe have them end up kind of almost accidentally moving as a group then. And then Akia is going to be happy. She's just following her hunger there. Elfrida, he will have found some berries and some brand new. We'll move little Moon over for a second and she'll stay. I think she's super excited to see Akia's baby. So Moon is starting to think about having children of her own, if you ask me. But we'll have Elfrida kind of lead the way because he wants to be a leader of some type. Over here, Sasuke is going to grab that delicious nut and then he'll jump back under the tree. Tosco is going to start clearing away some of the snow because he's curious about what's up there. And what on earth? Wow! I'm going to name her Ankiri. There we go, Ankiri, because she kind of reminds me of Anka. Wow! Tataku, you had a beautiful daughter. She's very gorgeous. Wow, look at that. Okay, so she has one mammoth foot. She has recessive hammertail, normal hind legs. She didn't end up with either of the mutations I really wanted, and she has very bad fertility. So not exactly an ideal child to be born for the genetics aspect of things. But I think that, Xenophilius and Tataku are just as proud as they always are of their children. All right, meanwhile, little Brothix is still wiggling his way up, and I think I'm going to destroy this berry bush. Crove is going to get his horns caught in that, end up destroying it. It'll grow back by the time we're ready. And Camise is going to wiggle over here, I think. I think I was sending Camise over to kind of fall for Tataku, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So Camise is going to come on over, and I think she's impressed by the way that the creatures with mammoth foot can clear out all of the snow. And, Xenophilius is busy watching over her little children, so Camise might try to catch the eye of Tataku. And I guess that Xenophilius would be okay with that, because, come on, Tataku is one of the ancestors from the ice block. So clearly, even if his heart mostly will always remain with Xenophilius, we need to pass those genes around as much as possible, and it's just a celebration in the tribe when more babies with mammoth foot are born, after all. So I don't think they'd get jealous or anything like that. Alright, well, let's focus on saving little Mimisko from this predator. The poor thing. She's just been a victim chased down by all of these hungry creatures for so long. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. Janu will be very happy to help out here. Yeah, Noto will be very excited. And I think that Steel would want to clear out some of this grass so that that won't happen again. But yeah, they just took out that predator and it resulted in a huge meal. And I think Mimisko would be very impressed by that. And we'll send her down here to kind of exclaim in excitement of the fact that she was just rescued. So, oh dear, and she might not be able to do any fishing. So I think we'll have her and Steel possibly have a child because they both have fishing tail in just a moment here. And then, let's see, we've got Shira over here. We have Corey right over here who may have one no paw. Not a big deal though when you also happen to have the cracking ability, the cracker jaw ability. And then little Duvai, who can at least collect up the nuts, so he can help out there. Shira really seems to be kind of happy to help out. Oh my gosh, look at Corey! Wow, panda pattern on a body that belongs to Spiky Body is very, very interesting. So I feel like Corey and Duvai might actually go off and start exploring on their own. So we'll see where that interesting, this is kind of like our interesting branch of the Yukir family tree, and your more traditionally bred Yukirs are on this side. So Luli is about to pass away of old age, but I think that she's just absolutely delighted to spend her time exploring along the waterways, and she wants to eat as many clams as she can, and I think I just drowned her. Gosh darn it, Luli. I am not very good at that. And I love little Ankira. Isn't she just charming? I feel like she is sort of one of the snowy berries of Tataku's eyes, because he really loves his little girl, and she just looks so beautiful. Every time I see her, though, I think that there's a rabbit inside of the nest and we should go dive and eat it. So maybe that's not the impression I should have. All right, and Barathix can finally curl up in here, and what? Hey, you. Hey, he did it! Barathix just became a victor of protecting the Yukir's precious genes by clearing out that intruder. I think Crove would be extremely impressed. Oh my gosh, there's another intruder. Another intruder. Get him, Crove. Oh my goodness, there he goes. Another rogue male. We'll take him out. Oh, dang it, he's got K immunity. Ooh. If I had a free branch of the family tree to play with, I would possibly play with that and see where that would go. And then Tasco is going to continue to move across the top of the mountain. I really want to try to make note of any places that would be really useful for us to gather food from, but I don't think we're going to have one over here. Alright. I mean, other than like Akia scooching over and snagging clams as they move. Ooh, there's some more clams to eat. And then I think Moon would be very happy about this berry bush discovery. Crovey would be very happy about more clams. And then Elf would be, not very happy to end up with those leeches. But he is working his way over to this tree. If we get all of the trees settled, we can start bringing in a ton more food. If you guys recall, we learned last time that 100 food is not enough to survive on a hard island for sure. So want to definitely stock up on food. All right, there we go. Gather up some of the berries. I think Camise, yes. Camise is going to try to woo, oh my gosh, Tataku, and it appears that Tataku is extremely loyal to his mate, because we're having trouble there. There we go. But I think that, like I said, Xenophilius would understand that we need to spread those genes out a little bit. So she wouldn't mind Tataku having more mates, especially a fantastic, pure-blooded, strong, classic Yukir. Kind of an honor to be able to take one of them as a mate. So hopefully Camise will be a good nest sister to Xenophilius. Alright, let's see. Everybody doing good? Everybody doing good? Alright, we've survived another day, thank goodness. And the tribe is spreading out more. Very impressed and very happy that we haven't actually lost Barathix. He does have some pretty good genes too, so I wonder if I should have him move. Maybe he'll be a little bit of an adventurer too, and we might move him over here to kind of keep an eye on Clovey and keep an eye on Akia, because better to keep him near where our pure-blooded Yukirs seem to be wandering over on this side now. And then we've got our Mammootfoot Valley that we're sort of working on over here, and then we just have the weird experiments in the back, so better to start kind of pushing Barathix. I think that he and Clovey might think they make a good team taking out the rogues, and we'll send him down to the other side of the mountain so that we can start settling this area, getting a lot of food, and preparing to move 5 perfectly bred and hopefully prehistoric gene-wearing creatures across to the hard island in search of more of their missing ancestors. So, a little bit up close with that bird, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.